I'm Patrick Bailey with IQlist.com. Today is July 17, 2018, and in this video I'm going to be going over how to incorporate a QI wireless charger with a 3D print. Okay, now for those of you who may be unaware, a lot of the new phones, practically, especially all the high-end ones, now have wireless charging. And in a few years it's all going to be just ubiquitous to have wireless charging on everything, I think. And the standard is called QI. Now, I was looking the other day because I have a wireless a phone that can be charged wireless, and I was curious on what was available out there. I remember looking about a year ago, and to get something decent that I liked was about $50 for a nice one. But now the prices have come down a lot, and I was looking around a little bit curious to find a stand or something, and I came across this. And so what this is, and this is not the only one, so I'll put a link in the show notes, but there apparently are a lot of these. There are a lot of different little cheap wireless chargers out there. And at this price, it's not too cheap. I mean, if this was $20 a year ago, probably a little too cheap. But nowadays, not too bad at this price range. But what I found is I found a bunch of different, you might call them no-names. They're kind of really a bunch of no-names. That's okay by me. Where they have this wireless charger. Let's see if I can show it really well. That will go into a desk. So there's a lot of these, corporate desk or school desk, especially in university, that have all these holes that are kind of a standard size, I guess, and that you can put different things in for your routing your cables or different things like that. So these guys made one the exact same size that would go into there for wireless charging. So you get a nice little flush thing. I was like, well, that's cool. I could put that on the desk I have right now, since I just kind of have this really weird self-made desk I made years ago that I can just really drill a hole in. But I thought, oh, wait, that's perfect. Well, almost perfect. It is a little bit thick, but not too bad. But I thought, hey, I could buy this and I could incorporate it into a design, a 3D print design. Like the other week I made a iPad stand for my daughter. And I thought, well, cool, I could print a 3D stand for my little phone and put it right here and make it the size I want. Now, in reality, price-wise, if you find a nice charging stand, you can find a bunch of them on here for, $15 to $25. You can find a ton. And if that works for you, that works for you. No problem. But what I'm thinking is, this allows me the freedom to design a stand I want. It's not necessarily about saving money. It's about designing something I want to fit on my desk in a certain odd way. And so I ordered this, and just to show you, there's actually two models, at least this particular brand. There's a 10 watt and there's a 5 watt. So I bought the 10 watt, and here it is. Just to let you know, see, and it's got a little bit of a thickness to it, but overall, I used it. It works just fine as a test. And I thought, perfect. Let me go. I think this is a perfect idea. It'd be nice if it was a little thinner, but this I can incorporate into designs. Now, when I got this, it came with this big old long bolt and that. So I guess the idea is you put it behind a hole and you'd fasten that up and tighten it, but you only have a little bit of play here. So I guess most tables are a certain size. And then it would just stay. But I need something to hold a little bit closer. So I went out. About this. So I went over to Home Depot, and just to let you know, I found this guy. I think this is just like $1 or $1.50 or something like this. This size for this is an M6 1.0, and the shortest one I could find was 10 millimeters, which is almost short enough for what I did. But I found a little 10 millimeter bolt. There we go, a little tiny guy. And I had to go find a washer at the end. I found a 1/4-inch washer I just happened to have lying around. I also got that at Home Depot. To incorporate into a test design I did. So let me go show you the test design I did just to see, as a test to see if this would actually work out. Okay, so here's some quick notes that I made, just basically getting the size of this. So the outside diameter, you can see in my notes here, that's the outside diameter of this whole thing, is about 74 millimeters. And the inside diameter is about 60. So I came up with a little test here that I wanted to do where I just give it a little bit of leeway, 62 millimeters, to hopefully have it just slot in there. And based on the width here is about 15 millimeters. But we also got this little, no, it's about 11. So it's about 11 right there, but you have this little height here bumped up, and I think that comes out to about 15. So I decided to make just a test box and make it about, with that 62 millimeter hole design, and about 20 millimeters thick, just to see how it would look. And how it would fit in there before I started making something. Because the unfortunate thing about this is it's a little on the thick side. I mean, there's probably some other ways you can design around this, but I'm trying to keep it simple. But also what I wanted to do is if I'm going to print like that iPad design, that iPad holder I did, I printed upright. So I have to print that hole out upright. So I took this and I put one down and one upright and printed both of them out to see how well they do. Because once you start arching up, it's going to start having a few little goops. So I did that, and here they are. And so the bottom one worked out really well. Looks perfect as far as size. And again, this is just a test piece. Now the top one, the one that was upright, worked really, really well. Of course, then you get to the top, you get a little bit of gooping where it's not quite hitting it because the angle is just too extreme. But not bad for my purposes. It's not super smooth, but I don't need it to be because this is just something that I'm going to make personally for me. So I'll take the gooped one here. And so all I did, just run this wire through it. And I know there's not a real good hole in there, but there we go. So at 62 millimeters, it fits, and it's got a little bit of play. So you might be able to go down a little bit. There's an angle there, so actually, you know, you might be able to go down another millimeter or two. Maybe I should test that out, because you could probably, well, I guess I'm not too concerned about pressing it in, because what you do is you have this, you know, on the back here to hold it. And now, for me, that 10 millimeter bolt, you know, it's recessed in there well. Let's see if we can show. It's recessed in there well enough. Yeah, it's hard to show. It's recessed in there well enough that you could hold it on there with a bolt, but this one's a 10 millimeter, which happens to be a little too long. So I just need a tiny little washer to make it work. If you could find an 8 millimeter, it'd probably work just fine without a washer. The only reason I'm trying to avoid a washer is I add just another little bit more thickness to it. So tighten that up. And there we go. So should hold pretty good. So at 20 millimeters, with a washer, you're good. Otherwise, you might want to add a little bit if you're going to use a 10 millimeter. So as a test piece, that's pretty good. It gave me a good experiment for it, and I've been using this today, charging my phone. It's working just fine. So now, what I want to do, this is just a test. I like it. I think it's good. So the next thing I want to do on another video is I need to go figure out, I want to go incorporate this into a design I'm going to permanently put here. I also have a design in mind for my wife. She wants to set her phone down on the desk. But I wanted to make sure that if I did this circle in upright state, that it worked, and it does, and life is good. And I just wanted to show everyone else out there that this is an interesting idea. It's far cheaper if you don't need any specialization just to go buy a QI charger. Just go buy one. They're cheap. But this is not too badly priced if you want to go roll your own custom shape for some reason. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm hoping to make some more videos where I make some custom 3D prints and hopefully put those up on Thingiverse or something to share, where I can figure out using this QI charger with a custom 3D print design. I think that's a real cool thing. So just wanted to share that. This is kind of a shorter video, and hopefully some more videos to come showing some other designs, but we'll see. But anyway, so excited about that QI charger. Very interesting idea. So I'm pretty stoked about all that. Hey, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, hey, give it a thumbs down. Also, if you like what we were doing here, subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button. And lastly, have a piece of info to share? Just post a comment.